everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy. And boy, do we have a panel tonight. I'm going to quickly introduce our regular panel because look who's here. Not that they're not important, but look who's here. We've got Melissa Barker, a.k.a. I can't even think of who you are. No, the archive lady is in the house. Hey, Melissa, how are you?
Doing great, doing great. So glad to be part of this reunion.
Oh, it's so excited. And we've got Kathryn Hogan in the house as well. Hey, Kathryn, Looking for Ancestors is her blog and her business.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm really good. Now, unless you've lived under a rock and haven't noticed that, we've been covering relative race. We just had day 10 and have invited all the teams to come on. All four. It's really fun, and they're kids. So we got and we've got kids hanging out too. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Anitra is here without Paul, and we're sad from Team.
Hi,
Anitra.
There's a picture of Paul.
There's a picture of Paul. We've got Nicole and Ray from Team Red. Hello. Yes. Yes. Exactly. We've got regulars. We've got JD from Team Black.
We're back.
They came back. I'm so excited.
Hey, can't miss the reunion show for sure.
Miss the reunion show. And last but not least, we've got Chris and Deshay from Team Green. Woohoo! Yay! Hey everybody! I can't believe we've got all four teams. We've never done this before, so we are so excited. We're a little giddy that you're all here. So, day 10. Gosh, that was amazing. What did you guys think? Whether you were, watching it from home or participating, what did you guys think about all those different challenges? They were different from other seasons. Anybody want?
I liked it better than last season.
Did ya?
I might be biased.
You might be biased, Nikki.
You might be biased.
So, nature can back this up, but when we were testing out the RC skee ball challenge, they were like, don't they let us test them for just a little before so we can get the hang of it for like.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, so me and Nature had them first, and they were like, so don't crash them because they only had 4. And so it was like a millisecond, and then Nature and I like collided and like flew off into the wall. We were like, do you have a backup challenge? Like, we're going to ruin it.
We broke your challenge.
Yeah, they were like, okay, enough practice. We need to go with this before they break our entire challenge.
Oh my gosh. I thought it was such a great idea, though. My son walked through and went, hey, I want to do that. So I'm thinking we're always thinking family reunion games every time we watch one of the challenges. So, can you imagine that for a family reunion?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Raymond will break it. He broke almost every challenge we had.
They were fragile. They said cool with all your strength. They just didn't know how strong I was.
That's it. They're not fragile. You just be strong.
Yeah.
You're just 6 foot something and too much for the challenges to handle.
They shouldn't have said try as hard as you can. I really did, and it snapped a few times.
So, Deshay, I have to ask you a question about the trivia.
Do we have to?
I was like, are you kidding me? They'd ask the questions and I'd go, I know.
I think this is going to be the best time for me to redeem myself. So, first of all, no matter the outcome, I will never, ever forgive myself for that, because the only thing that was worse than that is that, Rebecca works with the crew.
Yes.
And she's standing there watching them, and she's like probably going, hello, I won. Hello. I know this, but I could not breathe. Like, that challenge, it looked physical, but it was way more physical than it even appeared, I think. Yes. But I mean, I'm just a fat kid at heart. Like, I'm not a sprinter or anything. That really almost did me in. So my brain, I was just like, I don't know, just go with it. So yeah,
it's okay.
Major fail.
It's okay. I mean, y'all did good. You know what? I think with all of those challenges, and we've talked about this before, you know things, but under pressure, under stress, your brain leaves you. My
Yeah.
brain leaves me every
So
Sunday
different.
night when we're recording the show. My brain goes. So, I think we're all human, and our brains just leave us under times of stress. I really do think that. So, Anitra, y'all did so good. This was one of those challenges, and you know what? I love this season because we weren't hearing a lot of, we want this team to win, we want this team to win, where everybody loved all of y'all, all of you. And we wish all of you could have gone.
I don't think we all would have fit on the track.
Can you
I don't think
imagine?
I
That track
would've
was
been
designed
by
for 2
myself.
teams.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a cool track too.
Very fun.
Very.
And we all felt the same way. As much as all the fans wanted all 4 teams to go, it would have been the absolute best thing for all 4 of us to be able to be day 10 also. But, that's unfortunately not the way it works out all the time.
It's not in the rules, so it's like you have to get those strikes. But yeah, y'all, it was neck and neck. I mean, it
Well,
was.
Jenny and I misunderstood the rules. We were trying to do 3 strikes the fastest. We didn't. We won. We thought we won. We came in, we were like, hell yeah, we won.
And everybody just, all joking aside, everybody just say that everybody won, and you did, because you
Yes.
all got to meet
Absolutely.
Right.
so many amazing people. Now, I understand. Where did Anitra go? There she is. She left. I understand that, $50,000 is a lot of money. You can do a lot of things with $50,000. When it really comes down to it, those family connections are priceless. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't pay for that. You can't buy that. You can't. There's just no way. And so I am thrilled. We are thrilled for each one of you with the people that you were able to meet, and the doors that were open to you, and the future, that's open to you, because you've got more people. I'm sure all of you had more people to meet, more family to connect with. And so that's amazing. That's priceless. You can't pay for that. And Anitra, you talked about wanting to use the money to adopt. And,
Yes.
And I think it's wonderful that you said, hey, we've got so much family support now. We're going to do it. And I'm so glad. I'm a mom of biological and adopted children. So my heart went, oh, yay.
And really, it just encouraged us to go the foster route instead of going
that's what we did.
route. So, I mean,
Yeah.
and you don't need a lot of money for that. So.
I know. Just a lot of love and patience.
That's right.
Patience, a lot of patience. And message me separately afterwards. We'll talk about that one. But yeah, that was great to hear you say that, and you guys decide to go ahead and do that. So, with that, Kathryn or Melissa, I know you've got questions. There's something that you want to say. Don't let me talk the whole time, because I will.
Well, I was just going to say, when I was watching Day 10 yesterday, I was live tweeting as well, and they did the recap of the show. Well, I'm like, okay, where are the tissues? Because just in that 5 minutes of the recap, I'm like getting all emotional again, going back to a little trip to memory lane with each of the teams, and some of the relatives that each one of the teams have met, which was fantastic. Unfortunately, Paul's not here, because I had a question for Paul, because, for Team Blue, we followed all of Anitra's journey, and Paul chose that, which is great. But I was just curious, maybe Anitra, you can answer this on his behalf. Is he curious about reading, is he now curious and kind of doing a little journey like this for himself, and possibly meeting people that he's related to, DNA, what have you, that he hasn't met before?
Well, what'd you say, babe? Oh, yes. So, I think that Paul's mother has been, by watching the show, has been encouraged to find her biological family, father's side. She didn't know anyone from her father's side. And Paul wasn't really, he kind of figured that we would find family just for me. So he wasn't really too upset about that. But his mother definitely wants to find out some information about her father's side. And my dad, actually, the dad that I met on the show, found out about his biological father from the show.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, really cool. I mean, just I always say this. I can't say it enough. This really emphasis on family and finding family. I mean, it's like you said, it's priceless. It just is. It's priceless.
Exactly.
Well, and Paul got to find all of us.
That's right.
Right.
There you go. I mean, and look at the bonds that you guys have. I mean, this
True
is
love.
yeah, it is. It's family. You guys are family now.
we're stuck. They're
Yeah.
stuck with us.
Yeah, and it's like when we first met.
We found so much family before the race started. We all went and did media stuff, and literally there's 8 people, 4 separate strangers, and we're hugging together because we were A, freezing to death, and B, we're just that close right from the beginning. Like, it should be really awkward that I'm hugging everybody that I don't know, but
Right.
we're here, and we're all in the same boat, and
Yeah.
it's been that way since the beginning. We all love each other.
Yeah.
This is no TV fakery. This is all true stuff, right?
Yeah. And it comes through. We can tell that. I mean, it just comes across the screen. I mean, you
Still start each day with a good morning text. Someone starts it.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
figure out what everyone's doing and give little recaps through the day. It might not be super in depth every day, but it's every day.
Well,
that's wonderful.
there are side texts with our cousins I think at least every other day. I'm texting someone on the side. Shay and I spoke, what was it, yesterday or day before yesterday? Yeah, it never stops.
That's mostly because I look to JD for wisdom. I'm like, JD, I need you to calm the little Cajun in me. 80 words of wisdom. Chris is awesome at that, but it's always good to have a friend that you can go to, and every one of y'all, we've all been great friends, and we laugh, and we usually wake Team Black up every morning because we're all.
Because they're in Utah, and
I can hear the phone buzzing.
5 a.m.
That's probably the only thing that they don't like about the cousins, that we're all East Coast time.
and look, something it made in the pictures. I know it looked like we were hugged up in this nice, sunny, beautiful background. But earlier that morning, it snowed. It was about 25 degrees out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a walking snowman in our background. It was cold. But I'm gonna tell you from the day that we walked in the media day, and I tell them this all the time. My wife and I, we were about to walk into a whole different room to eat the food they had for us, that wonderful, delicious meal they had for us. And, the sticky rice, I think it was held together with crazy glue.
Crazy glue.
But we just saw them and we locked eyes and it connected right from then. I mean, and from that day to this day, it's just been like true cousins, true love. And the picture we took, it meant so much to me. I got to put on a shirt. And just say, family. It's like, it's real. We love them, all of them. And it's been so amazing. So for me, winning and losing is what we came for initially. We all want to win.
Right.
I was so happy last night when I saw how gracious the blue team was, even when the green team won, because it was like, you deserved it, you earned it. It didn't seem like, oh man, if you stole it from me, I could have done better. And that's the whole essence of what we do. We all support each other. That was my favorite part of the show last night.
Yeah, I agree with you. Speaking,
And Deshay had no words.
Yeah. She had no words.
No words.
That is the first time that's ever happened in 35 years.
We need to win more often so I can get some.
There's that look. There's the look we missed.
Hey, so I just wanted to say that Chris and I, we had a rough day. I mean, we were like, when we were going into it, we just knew we lost. I mean, there's really no losing, but it's just when we come down to the medal count, we were like, it's theirs, to win, and we were excited for them. I mean, we knew how it it can change anyone's life. And so, we felt like they earned it too. And I love that the show captured at the end, you know, when Anitra came into the pit and finished her thing, you know, we were all pounding it out and hugging, and, you know, we started our day and we ended our day that way.
That's right.
You know, of course we're all competitive and we had our little competitive jabs, but it's all in good fun. You know, we laugh about that now. It's hilarious. It's just fun. So, I mean, we've supported each other from day one. So that's all you can wish for, you know?
Yeah. It's the only time that I've ever believed in love at first sight.
Oh, that's it right here.
Oh,
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, but it was because you were looking at us. We were looking at Ray. That was
He's not bodyguard.
that's so funny. I've got a question. What, as you're watching the show, because I know that you haven't seen everybody else's stories. I mean, you know what happened, but you haven't seen. What surprised you the most? What surprised you of everybody else's story? Was there something that you went, oh?
how hard I cried watching the show for every single person. I knew what had happened in the day, like you said. Watch the details. When Anitra's uncle, as special as her dad visit was, because it was, but her uncle, Deshay's aunts, and uncles. I got a great family out of this, but there are moments where I feel a little bit jealous because of I want to know Ray's brother better. I mean, Lamont and I are on the phone, but I want him to be my brother. I want Deshay's uncle, the one that was giving her like a prayer over her. I want to know him. I want to know Anita's uncle. It was some special moments.
I think for us, firstly, Deshay meeting her dad was just like all on the ground, like open the door. It's like the same face with like a haircut. Like, the biggest personality. It's like you just want to go and like, I'm your daughter too. And then it was like, and then when Anitra's uncle met her and the emotion that he had because she looks just like her mom. And then Raymond's brother, I have a little brother now, meeting Raymond and he has his mom's face. And then JD's dad, JD has his face. So when he met his aunt, Lamont met him, Anitra's uncle met her. It was like, although they had all passed,
they all got a piece.
It was a rebirth, so to speak, that everybody who loved them had an opportunity to meet their clones. And then Deshay meeting her mom, and it's just like, I'm just crying. And I know that, you know, from the Skypes that who met who, but it was just so emotional just seeing those first meetings and just seeing the similarity from everybody. It was just amazing.
I think they each had the stories were all so similar. Like of the people looking, they all got to meet an aunt or an uncle that was just so overjoyed, like Anitra's uncle, so overjoyed to meet this. And JD's aunt. It was just fun to watch everyone's story out because we've just talked about it for the last several months. So to actually watch it.
And it was so beautiful, you know, seeing all those stories, you know, for me, you know, knowing that Ray met his brother was amazing after the story. But watching the show, seeing the fact that every other day it was like, okay, this is me, this is my wife, or vice versa, and who are we related to? And there was none of that. There
just
was,
me.
I'm your brother and you're my brother, and we're gonna embrace. And I went through a lot of Kleenex that day.
We've all gone through a lot for the season.
I'm gonna tell you, when I saw Deshay's mom, what touched me, and I broke down really bad on that, was because I saw the pain in her face. Like she was really sorry that she didn't have those years. You know, you could tell that came from an extremely heartfelt place, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm watching it, and I'm happy, and then I'm watching it, and my eyes are blurry, and I can't see the screen. It was just, I'm like, so, why is it raining on my face? Like that was super emotional. That got me. That got me.
So what I think is cool about it, we all met such big family members, you know, but and I always talked about looking for missing puzzle pieces and all of that, but talking about all these people that we met and watching it play out on screen, you know, we're all a missing puzzle piece that they didn't even know they were looking for. So we're completing a piece of their puzzle they didn't even know was missing. And so it's just putting families back together, and it's just amazing. And you know, I do want to say, for those of us that were searching for the biological family, we all had great families growing up. I mean,
we did.
We all wonderful, amazing families that we grew up with, and this was not a replacement of, but an addition to. And I think we all connected on that. And so, you know, and I don't think any of us would have done the show if we didn't have their support. And so that's important to know. They don't spend a whole lot of time on that, but I mean, we all know. I'm speaking on behalf of everyone. So, but we all know that, and you know, that's just amazing that we now have these two sets of families, and of course our spouses' families too. So it's just really to have all this family coming together at once.
Just more people to love, you know. More
That's
people
right.
to love.
It's been interesting. I had an opportunity to introduce my dad to my Aunt Linda.
And your sister.
And to my sister. And it was a real tender moment.
I'm sure it was. Has anybody else had that experience? Have you been able to connect your biological and your adopted families together? And how has that gone?
The day that Lamont came up, we knew that he was coming up to watch the show with us, but his mom didn't. And his mom is an investigator. She keeps asking questions. So Raymond went out to the car. The cousins have already seen the video. And he comes in and she's like, how you doing? And Raymond's like, this is my brother. So.
Well, no, because my mom knows we're from a neighborhood where I could bring anybody strange in the house just to help me carry something or whatever. I love all people, right? So she's just thinking I'm bringing some weirdo in the house, just like, who did you bring in the house now? And she's like, well, who's this? And he's like, hey, I'm Lamont. And I don't think it clicked with.
I'm Mr. Moore.
I said, this is Mr. Moore. He said, hi, I'm Lamont. And I don't think it clicked with her. Now, you know she was in the Twilight Zone because I had on the shirt that said best little brother. He had on the shirt that said best big brother. And it still didn't click with him. He had to literally say, I'm his brother. And then she just, because what I always told her, what I always told my brother and what I told my mother that day was, okay, Mama Katrine did you a solid, right? She gave me to you. So 40 years later, I want you to take her son like you did, like she did for you, and raise us both. And ever since then, she sends us a text every morning saying good morning to my sons. She changed her Facebook profile picture to both of us. And Lamont loves it. We love it. We all say good morning, Mom. It's like that biological and adopted, I hate to say the word adopted, but a biological and natural family is just, it was beautiful. It still is beautiful. It's going on every day.
That's wonderful.
Whenever we had our video, or Where Are They Now, my mother and my father, my aunts, my cousins, everybody met at my home church where I got married. And almost everybody I met from the show, we all just kind of came together. Then we went and got something to eat. And my mom really connected with my sister. My mom and dad told my sister, like, you know, you're ours now. So
I love that.
Really, really cool.
I love that. What about you, Deshay?
So, you know, my family lives in South Louisiana, and the Love family, a lot of them live over in Texas. And so, but my mom, Cheri, that, you know, grew up with, she's actually been over to Texas with us about 3 times. So she's met all of them. It's seamless. Like, it's ridiculous how easy it all meshes together. And I'm like, they love to exchange stories and kind of gang up on me like families do. But in a beautiful way, you know, we've done some FaceTimes with other, you know, but we have plans, you know, we want everyone to be able to get together eventually, but It's been really cool. We were actually all together last night.
And Cheri fit so well into Love Family. Then went over to Mike's because we stayed at his house. And Donna, Mike's wife, was so excited because she said, I redecorated your room. So Cheri literally has a room.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that so much.
It's like everybody's known everybody forever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really, it's the most wonderful and strangest thing I've ever.
I think another thing that's cool is we're all now becoming friends with each other's families on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like we're getting this request from, Deshay's mom or Deshay's dad.
Oh.
It's just anybody that has the last name Love. It's just automatically.
Just send a friend request. She'll accept it.
Some of my sisters have reached out, and JD's had to say to me, that's Jenny's sister. And so, I think we're all just becoming intertwined in a way that we'll never all be the same. We're changed.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
and we wouldn't want to be.
None of us just got one extra side of family. Yeah. We all got 4 extra sides of families.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Melissa, did you have a question?
I do. I am actually an archivist. I work in a county archives here in Tennessee, and I get the privilege of helping people when they come in my door to help find them their ancestors in the records that I'm over. So my question to you is that do you think you'll continue your genealogy journey going back further on the families that you've met and on the families that you already have, because, I help people that know their ancestors or know their families. And I also have people walk in the door that have been adopted or are looking for birth. And so I wondered if you're just going to continue the research part.
I can say as one of the, spouses, outsiders, whatever, that it really has sparked an interest with me, especially in thinking initially that I knew everybody that there was to know. And, meeting my cousins on day 2 was great and amazing. But what I think sparked it even further was when I met Becky on day 5 and learning that all of a sudden I was relative on the other side of the door because I was the first biological relative that she had met. I have since got her in contact with my dad, who is obviously a relative, and my dad is actually cousins with her mother, and it's just gone on from there. And I've actually got back to like mid 1700s on parts of
Wonderful.
Wow. Good for you.
Well, I know for me, of course, probably the same with Paul and Chris and Jen. I was just going to be the biggest supporter that I could for Raymond. So my dad, he's the youngest, so I had never really met any cousins or any of his side of the family. But meeting my cousins there, Deborah and Callie, we've been keeping in touch. They're having a family reunion. Well, we're having a family reunion in April, so I'm going to go to that and just look to expand on that family there and just be a better family member for my family that I already know, calling them, checking on them on the voice or FaceTime instead of just, I'll see you when somebody dies or, when there's a big birthday party or something. Like, I think we just take family for granted, and Raymond has and my cousins have really, just made me consider being the best family member that I can be.
Yeah. And I'm going to go with her to the reunion. That's her eye candy. So I'm hoping that proud, but if not, I'll still be good looking regardless.
It's a big hunk. That's what it's a big hunk.
More than muscles.
Yeah.
That's too funny. Anybody else?
Well, we had a genealogist here at our home on Saturday that took us all the way back to.
Well, he reached out because he is JD's cousin, JD's 4th cousin, 4 times removed.
But it wasn't that he wanted to meet me.
No, he's just a genealogy freak, and he's about 75. And drove in from Arizona and was just so happy that he brought JD a flash drive of all of this and research that he's done, pictures and newsletters and just a stack of stuff. And he talked so much that I don't even know for sure if we followed everything he had to say.
We had to hook him up with Anitra's cousin.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Andre, exactly.
And
Andre's
Wayne's
great.
Yeah. So
Andre's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you're lucky you've got him. So you're like, I don't need it. I just call Andre. What else? Send me what else you found. So yeah, you lucked out having him in your family. So that was great. Anything else? Anybody?
Okay.
How y'all doing?
Welcome.
Hey, wait. I have something to say.
Okay.
All right.
Oh no, here it comes. I already know.
One half of Team Blue is keeping the tradition of always showing up late for anything.
You know.
Paul's in the whole time.
That's right. That's right.
Apparently there's a backstory there.
And then when he shows up in style. He showed up driving a Maserati the first day we met him. And he had shades on that I'm not sure ever came off. He had them on the whole time. Coolest dude in the world.
You know, you
Paul
guys.
likes to keep us waiting. He's
he
just
does.
waiting for us to be
I'm
super
sorry. I try not to.
excited.
Well, we're so glad that you're here. Welcome to
Paul's out
GenFriends.
saving the world,
Yes.
one person at a time.
One person at a time. Exactly. I know that we asked this of Team Black last time, but since we have everybody here, what would you say to anybody that is looking to go on this journey? Would you encourage them to fill out that paperwork? And I had somebody tell me last night, oh, we've applied for the show. I don't know if we'll ever get on. And I said, we'll keep trying.
Yeah.
So would you encourage people to apply?
I would because it's scary. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I always think about when I think about all of us is how brave it is and how much courage you have to have. You just don't know what's going to happen on the other side of that door, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I know that, and sometimes that process can be long and nerve-wracking, and we'll get back to you, and maybe you're on, maybe you're off. That whole part is the nerve-wracking part, but the instant that you hear that you're on, for me, the competition became secondary. I was like, I remember telling my daughter the day we left, I was like, when I come back, you're going to have a whole bunch of new family. Like I wasn't even thinking about the $50,000 of the show. I was like, you're going to have some family when we come back. So anybody that wants to do it, I would encourage them to do it because your life will be forever changed. Now, we can't promise that you'll meet 7 other cousins. Like,
You know, my cousins are better than yours.
And even our season is just something different. Like, what's the word? Like, better?
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
It's called lanyap in Louisiana. It means a little something extra. It's called lanyap.
Okay. I agree with you.
And don't listen to your wife the whole time when he's telling me, oh, they want us to come on the show. They're going to find my family for free. I'm like, scam likely.
Yeah.
And look at this.
Well, I agree. This was a unique season. We've been covering it since the beginning, and it's unique. It's got a special spirit about it. Y'all have been so loving and caring, and I agree. It's got to be scary to put your whole life out there and have and your relatives put their lives out there.
Yes.
You know, because they've got stories that perhaps they didn't want the world to know, and now the world knows. And so it's got to be, you know, people have got to be brave on each side. But like you said, it's so worth it to say, whose relative are you, and have somebody say, I'm your dad, I'm your mom, I'm your cousin, you know, I'm your sister, I'm your brother, whatever it may be. You know, that in itself is worth it, and it's real. And that's the most amazing thing I think about this show is that it's real. It's not staged and set up. No, I know some of the production you got to kind of, you know, work out, but those connections, that family is real. And I think that's what makes it so special. And I think that's why we're so addicted. And I've told people this before. I got addicted. I watched season 1. It was okay. And they know that. Sorry, Dan. I've told you
Be
that.
honest.
When Joe's dad came out on season 2,
That was
said, I'm your dad.
Yep.
And Maddie whacked him on the back like, "That's your dad." I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked because they had found the formula. They figured it out. They knew what was important. It was finding that family. And so I love at the end how Dan always says, it's all about, tomorrow's another day, and it's all about family, because that's what it's about. It's all about family. And I love, love, love that y'all are now family. And
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
stay family, and I'm so grateful that this family joined our family tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, we're family. We're family forever. We're family forever.
I love that. I love that. Does anybody have any last minute things they would like to say? And y'all can, when I hit the end record button, if y'all want to stay and talk forever, I don't care.
You were talking about, the bravery that it takes, or Anitra was talking about the bravery it takes for, like Deshae and Anitra and Ray and JD to actually say, okay, I think I can put myself out there on TV. And yes, the family also. And just to prove a point, I mean, I was with Mike, Deshae's dad, yesterday, and it was just us. We were driving in the truck, and I talked to him about that, and I was like, thank you for when you got that phone call that you didn't just say, nah, I don't think so. Because he could have. And every other relative on there could have said, nah, I don't think so. And unfortunately, there are a lot of other contestants that try to get on the show, and they do get those non-phone answers, or you knock on the door and they just refuse to open it. So as much as the blessing that we've all been to each other, the family has been a huge blessing, in that they were willing to make that leap.
Talking about whether you should apply for the show, you definitely should. I would say, as long as you're open to the possibility of finding a family, then do it, because I didn't really have any expectations. Honestly, I think that was kind of my defense mechanism for not being let down. Whenever we found out we were on the show, I went straight up game mode, because I knew the family was going to come. I knew they were going to take care of the family part, and I didn't have any expectations on who we were going to meet, not going to meet. Yeah, that's of course why we get on the show to begin with, but it's absolutely crazy. And also, one last thing, my relative race continues, because last night we had a big get together in Texas, and I met 2 more first cousins, a great aunt.
Wow.
And then there's been family that's reached out to me from watching the show, and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm a descendant of Thomas Love and Sal and whatever, and we're tracing it back, and we're finding extended family, and just still connecting with all these people that are out there. And so another answer is yes, I'm still continuing the genealogy thing. It's really, really exciting, and there's still more people to meet, which is crazy. So we're real excited about it.
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
The last thing that I want to say to is to all of my spouses, Paul, Chris, Nikki, Jenny.
Stop it, JD.
Don't you do it.
I love you, and I appreciate your sacrifice, your commitment to your spouse, your commitment to Jenny and I, your friendship. You made the difference for your spouses, for your family, and we'll be forever grateful.
Oh, love you guys, man.
And we thank you guys for taking us on the best date ever. This was definitely a journey, but I wouldn't miss it for the world. Not the sleep, not the strikes, not anything, just to see those little pieces come together for Raymond, just not on camera, but off camera, just talking and learning more, and just seeing the relationships develop as each day goes on. It's just been the most amazing experience. And then it was set up perfectly that the 6 of you guys were our support system. Yeah. So for Raymond, the support system was Anitra and JD and Deshae, and then the spouses, you know, we're like the best supporting cast ever. We're like the backup dancers. And, and it's just like the one time that you meet someone and you're like, do you know what I mean? And when they say they do it, they just do. So I think that's what makes us click.
Thank you. My favorite backup dancer. It is. No, but look, and something that people probably don't know, that we all know, we spent Easter together. Like all of us, like the real Easter, not like a fake Easter. Like we spent,
Real Easter dinner.
Together. That is the only time in my life that I can remember that I did not spend it with, you know, regular family, whatever. It meant everything to me. And I don't know if I conveyed this to everybody. I know I've said it a few times, but to be with, you know how hard it is to meet one person that you like? You know what I mean? This is hard for me. I'd be like, nope, I'm good by myself. And to meet a bunch of people that you like and ride with, and we all stood together. Like most of those pictures you see, with our feet all in the circle and our hands all in the circle, we generated that. We came up with that. Nobody asked us to do that. That was true love. We sat at that table. We prayed together before. We prayed together right before we left to go on the race to wish each other well, because it is about competition. I'm with Deshae. As soon as they say you're on, it's game over, right? But with these 6, just with you 6, nobody else in my whole life, but just with you all, it was game mode, but it was more about life. And I love every one of you all. And even when I'm watching the finale, I'm like, man, I wish I was there. Man, I wish I was there. When you all said, I think it was you, Paul, or Nietzsche, whoever said it, you deserve it. That humbled my spirit right up. Like, because it reminded me that this isn't about all winning and losing. We all have family. We all have gotten back together since then. We all talk in text. We tell each other stuff that we know. I told y'all stuff that you all know what it is, not that I say it here, that I don't tell most people in my whole life. I love you all from my heart with all the love that Christ gives me. And I appreciate every one of you all being in my life, because it makes a difference to have 6 people that you could talk to and really care about. That's what I take most from this. After the race, listen to the podcast too.
Exactly.
No cheat code. But yeah, after the race, man, it just means a lot to have you all. So I appreciate you all being here for us, for both of us.
You guys, we couldn't watch the 10 days without crying, and now we can't watch. We can't have this reunion without crying. You guys are wonderful. You were so wonderful, and you all just exude this wonderful spirit. And so I know that through your journeys, as much as it healed you and helped you, it's going to heal other people and encourage other people, whether they do this on a show like Relative Race, or it gives them the motivation to find and fill those holes in their lives. I think you've done a great service to many, many people out there. And I really thank you for that. And I thank you for this season, for the tears, for the laughter. Y'all are hysterical.
It's eye sweat. It's eye sweat. It's not tears.
It's glistening.
It's glistening.
That's right. It's glistening. That's right. So thank you. Thank you for being on GenFriends tonight. We appreciate it. We hope you will keep in touch with us and let us know what you're doing and the people that you're finding and how your families are growing. And we just love you, and we're so grateful that you were here for us tonight. And with that, fortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye.
All right.
And
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
And we will see you next.
No one gets a stripe tonight. Yay!
Nobody gets a stripe. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
on GenFriends.
Love y'all.
Bye.